I'm very pleased to be joined with Karli June, Canadian country artist, joining us here on Primetime Local News. We're talking about your new single called Home Team. So take us through what that song's about, Karli.
Yeah, so I'm so excited about the single. I came up with the idea thinking of my hometown. I'm from a small town in Ontario, and uh, we have a hockey team, and the fans in our hometown will support that hockey team till its death, whether the team's doing great or whether the team's doing horrible. They support them, and I was thinking about that, how it's your home team. That's what you do. And I brought that idea into a writing session, and we made it about all those people in our lives that support us in that way. And we decided to make it kind of sound like we were in a sports stadium. And I'm so excited about it. The song means so much to me, and I hope for everyone listening that it will mean something to them too.
When this song was presented to you, because I know it was written by some other people as well, what was the one thing when you heard it that made you go, yeah, I like that, and get all really excited for it?
I think as we built the song, I mean, I came up with the title and I had brought it into the right of home team. And the second my producer, Karen Kasowski, started playing the drum beat that sounded like a marching band in a sports stadium, I just got goosebumps up my arms. And I could just, you felt that feeling of like being in your hometown where, you have that support or whoever that is. And just how we brought in my family into the song, my friends, and just those personal connections. It just felt really, really real to me. And I think that's what makes a song great, is when it feels real and honest. And that's what allows it to connect with people.
Now, whether this song was written during or before the pandemic, did that give you that special feeling still? Because the song does talk about family and friends during times where we really couldn't be with our loved ones.
So we wrote the song pre-pandemic in the fall of 2019. And then I recorded the vocals on the song last summer. And that was in the midst of the pandemic. And it was quite an emotional experience, honestly, recording the vocals of the song when I hadn't been around those loved ones in my life for so long, and you're missing them. And it just makes you appreciate it so much more. So the song definitely took on new meaning during this pandemic.
You do have some other tracks that people seem to be familiar with in the country world, as well as a finalist for a big talent search that helps many new artists get their name out there. So with those things in mind, how beneficial has those things been for your career to this point?
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's been kind of a build throughout this pandemic, which is a weird time to really build your career. We were hoping to be able to do a lot of stuff out playing shows, because that's a really important way to be able to connect with fans. But sometimes different opportunities come, and even the people I've been able to write with, I think a lot of doors have opened because of writers being more available during the pandemic. So it's really helped my career grow a lot. And I have to remind myself of that too, because when you're at home in your small apartment, it doesn't always feel that way. But I'm just thankful for the way that it's growing, and for every single opportunity that has come my way, and people that have taken a chance on me.
Now, with the pandemic, of course, it's provided lots of challenges for everybody, especially when it comes to people's mental health, and it did take a toll on a few of us. For you during that time, Karli, what's been something you started to discover about Karli June, the musician, and Karli June, the person?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'd be lying if I said this pandemic hasn't been really hard on me too. Whenever people ask questions like this, it's really easy, just to focus on, I've learned this and that. But I think it's important to say, like, I struggle a lot too, especially with mental health during this pandemic. And what it's really taught me is that there's certain things in life that are not guaranteed. And when those things, for me, it was being out performing, doing media and interviews and things like that in person with people. And when those things are taken away, what foundation is there still in your life? And even as a person, where is your identity? Is that still there? And I think it's really important to separate your identity from external things that might be going on in life. So it's really caused me to dig deep into myself and to know, where does that come from? Where does my value come from? And I think that always comes out in the music too. And there's definitely some songs on my record that's coming out later this year that have been inspired by that. And so that's been a tough but really rewarding journey as well.
And lastly, Karli, where can people go to find out more about you and your music?
So I'm on all streaming platforms. So you can basically find the song on any online music platform. And I'd love if they would follow along on social media too. It's Karli June on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. TikTok, there.
Well, Karli, I really appreciate your time. Thank you very much for joining us. The new single of Karli June's Home Team is out now to have a listen. Karli, thanks so much.
Thank you so much for having me.